for posterity purposes. Okay, so hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to training number 4. This is the fourth and final training in this phase 1 EPE Accelerate program. So today, like Neil mentioned, we're going to be covering Agent Assist, 5.9 Agent Assist. And then after this, we will take a break on training and let the folks on the call who have gotten the training go off and start doing a little building. And we'll be here to support all the go forward steps and supporting you through the building process as you prepare the demos to demonstrate to us all the wonderful skills that you've learned through the training program. So with that, Neil, why don't you take it away? And then when we wrap, we'll talk about next steps and the best way we can just stay in touch and keep collaborating through the building process.
Yeah, so thanks, Lisa. We're gonna get started today. It's gonna be Brad is gonna kind of walk us through. Yeah,
Wow,
Brad is our
flipping the script
special
on me.
guest presenter.
Okay.
I know exactly.
Woo.
We tripped you up.
I love it though. I love a little twist up on a Tuesday morning.
Whoops. So, hey everybody, is my voice coming through okay?
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
sound great.
sound like radio. You're good.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm in a different location today, so I've got it a little bit different setup. So hopefully you don't hear a dog in the background or anything like that. Um, so let's see. So Neil, I was just trying to remember where we left it last time. Last time I think you had just gone through the PowerPoint, kind of explaining what Agent Assist is and what
Yeah,
it does and how it can be used. Is that right? Do we need to
that's
recap?
correct. Yep.
Do we need to recap anything there?
I don't know that we do. I mean just to make sure everybody's on the same page, right? The Agent Assist application is the application that lives within the Agent Desktop Plus application, and it's included in some of our other integrated or adapters, like you get access to it from Salesforce and some of our other adapters. But this is a tool that agents use to kind of increase their efficiencies when they're talking to agents. So the idea is that we provide some specific levels of information to agents as they're talking about the call, and some of this can be intent driven, and it can be keyword driven, and we give agents access to things such as transcription, summarization. We get access to guidance cards and checklists and some things like that. So what we wanted to do today was walk you through a use case of how to build out, how to set up Agent Assist, how to get it turned on, and how to build some simple guidance cards, and then kind of turn you loose. I don't know that we'll go the full 2 hours today, but we'll see how it is. This presentation is not as complex or as in depth as, and the product's not as complex as the IVA tool is. So with that, I think that's a great introduction. Brad, you can kick it
Yeah,
back.
let me start sharing.
So we're getting some feedback. I'm thinking, I guess that's you, Brad. You guys go on mute if
There we go. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, again, if you can't hear me, just let me know. So I think probably maybe the best thing, Neil, you guys, what I'm just going to start. I'm going to do just a quick demo of a simple agent assist scenario here. And then what we'll do is we'll turn around and we'll actually build a similar type agent assist setup here. So I know we're recording, and I know that the way the EPE is normally done, if we were in person, is we would split up into teams and we would divide and conquer and build. I think there's a couple scenarios that we had info on, one for banking, one for insurance, but we're kind of throwing all that away right now, and we're just going to go through and we're going to create a simple one live after we look at a demo here. So what you've got here, this is 5.9 Agent Desktop, and this is actually all configured inside of this EPE domain that you guys have access to. So if we look at that real quick, this is just VCC, you can see here that I've got a campaign created here for NFL ticket assistant. And I'm sorry, this is probably small and probably hard to see, but this is the campaign that I'm going to be dialing into. So this is all out here. This is all set up on this domain. And if I were inside here, inside of admin console, if we go into our admin assist, or I'm sorry, agent assist UI, you can see here that I do have one model created out here for this NFL ticket assistant. Okay. And so what this is, it's just this is just a simple one that I set up to where it'll listen to what's going on in the conversation between the customer and the agent, and it'll pop some guidance cards based on what it hears within the conversation. And then at the end, it'll also summarize and uh, create a summary of that conversation. So I'm just going to send a call in here real quick. Hopefully, we're able to hear, and this isn't a uh, total fiasco here. But let me dial the number. You'll hear my phone ringing, and then you'll see a call pop here.
NFL hotline for valued season ticket holders. One moment while I locate an agent to help you.
So here comes the call popping in. I accept it as the agent. And I've already got a call start guidance card here, and you can see it's recording me as I'm talking here. So I would say, hello, welcome to the NFL All Access line. Okay, I'm going to mute and pause here. Talk about this. This is the agent assist interface. On the left-hand side, it'll put the transcript up here of everything that it hears, both sides. Guidance cards will pop here in this middle section. And then on the right-hand side, this is where we support, or where I have configured tasks. And tasks are just things that I want the agent to do and to cover during the course of the conversation. So as Agent Assist hears these tasks, it'll check them off as they come on here. So let me continue here as the customer. Yeah, hi, I just wanted to see if I could upgrade my parking pass. Okay, so what just happened here? The customer asked about parking pass, and we popped a parking pass inquiry guidance card. So this is just to give the agent, hey, they're asking about a parking pass here, or here's what you need to do. Ask from there. So let me continue. Yeah, hi, I can help you with that. Are you interested in upgrading to Platinum Lot, perhaps? Yeah, that would be great. And while you're at it, I'm also interested in postseason or playoff tickets. So now you see when that happened, when the customer asked about playoff tickets, this postseason inquiry card popped. And these are, we'll see here in a minute when we go and build our own, but you can set these up. This is just an HTML editor. Neil was talking about what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG. That lets you create whatever it is you need to provide to the agent to help them service that particular, guidance. And in this case, I can have links in here. So if I click on this, this would launch, to another website, to another app, whatever you needed to do. Okay, so that's the guidance card piece. Now we haven't pinged any of these tasks yet because my agent hasn't hit any of these. So let's just do a couple of these. Hey, I see you have season tickets. Do you want to upgrade or renew those season tickets next year? Now I kind of did that on purpose, so it didn't ping that because this is a keyword spotting that I'm doing here, and the way that I said it, it didn't hit the exact keywords. So I need to go back and kind of update that. But if I say something like renew season tickets, then it should ping that, and there it did. Is there anything else I can help you with? That task got pinged right there. And for the last one, upgrading season tickets. And it pinged that one. Okay. So then let's just wrap this conversation up real quick. Okay, great. I think you've done everything that I needed you to. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then as the customer, I'm going to release the call. And then you see that call summary. That was really quick too, by the way. So this is the summary of the call based on the prompt that I have configured out here for this particular agent assist agent. And the summary, they accepted a call, started recording, talked about parking pass upgrades, talked about playoff tickets. So that's just the summary. The agent can add notes here in addition to the summary here if they'd like to. I'm just going to disposition this and then get on to the next call. One thing I do want to show you here though, real quick. So I just took that call through Agent Assist, and as the agent, if I were to go to my activity, I can see all my priors. Now that one we just did, it hasn't come through yet, but this is one I did right before we started here. And so if I wanted to go back and review that call and see what was going on in here, I just click here. And here is the conversation transcript that I can review. Here is the summary that was generated. And then this is just the different interaction details, the call data that we saved with that call. Okay. If I went into here, I can also come in here and I can see what was triggered and when it was triggered. So the call start is that first one that popped up automatically when the call started. That's triggered on call start in this case. And so that's why it's at 0 on the timeline of the call. He asked about a parking pass a minute in, talked about postseason a couple more minutes in, and then he completed his tasks and it shows me which one. So this is just the history of what happened in there. Okay. Any questions with how this works in general? Nobody? Okay. Okay, so what I want to show you now. So Agent Assist, it's
Sorry.
there's
So
something.
yeah,
Nope. Okay.
yeah. Can I go ahead?
Sure,
Ask
go
a
ahead.
question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brad, in the backend, how it's working? That's the integration. So, what guide for a guidance? What we are exactly using? Real time guidance. Uh,
For the guidance, what it's using.
We're
like
going to program that. Yeah, that's what we're going to show you how to program those. Those are guidance cards that
oh,
we've programmed based on keyword intents, that keyword spotting.
okay. So we are
That's
program. I thought we are using some AI or something like. So he gives the real time. Okay, that's fine. Good to
Yeah,
know.
let me go through how that was built and we'll kind of build one in parallel and then maybe some of those questions will be answered and maybe we'll have some more questions too, would be my guess. Okay. So again, this is in the domain that you guys have access to. So if you sign in to Admin Console here with your users, you'll be able to see the same things here. So to get to the Agent Assist, I always just click on one of these AI. Any of these will get you to the same panel basically, but click Agent Assist, and then you have everything over here on the left-hand side. Okay. It all kind of starts with a model. And so you can see there's only one out here right now, this NFL ticket assistant. But let's go ahead and let's create another one. And I was trying to think what we could create, and I'm in Kansas City. I'm not in Kansas City right now, but I live in Kansas City, and the World Cup is coming to North America next year, next summer, this summer. I guess it's almost this year. And so that's a real big thing for Kansas City. And so there's a lot of hubbub around that. They're polishing the city for all that. And so we're going to build just a FIFA World Cup hotline that you can call into, ask some things. We'll pop a couple guidance cards based on what we hear. And we're going to take that use case and build it here. One thing I want to show you here, though, real quick, and this will help you guys out. When you come into here, into this create models, and this is true pretty much anywhere within Admin Console, you don't see it on everything, but if you see this question mark right here, right, highlighting it right there, if you click that, it launches kind of this help video, and it gives you some information on it. And here you can open this guided walkthrough. And this guided walkthrough will will show you what you need to create and the order that you need to create it in, right? So this is really what we're going to do. So if I hit open this right now, it opens it in a new tab. Let this load. While we wait, I'll get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so it shows you what you need to do step by step. So we're just going to go through and we're gonna do this as we go and follow this, right? So I hit next there. Okay, so the first time you're setting it up, okay, you have to enable whatever campaigns you've got out there. We've already done that, but let's go look at that real quick. If I go into enable campaigns here. Okay, so when I went in here, I checked this all. So this means that all campaigns are eligible to be handled by Agent Assist. Okay, if I uncheck that, I would see the campaigns, and I could just select the ones that I wanted to be handled. So we're gonna leave that at all. Okay, and then we'll go next. Okay, that's what I just talked about. They're selecting all, and pay attention in here. You do have to explicitly hit save on a lot of these things. Okay, so now we're going to go to create models. Okay. Okay, so you would click create up here to set up a new assistant. Okay, and then we're going to apply that assistant to a particular call flow or campaign or skill. So let me go back here and go to create models. Cancel that. Okay, we're going to create a new one. Okay. So I hit create. Let's give it a name. I'm going to call it World Cup Hotline. Okay. It's Agent Assist. Okay. And here's where you can set up if I want to apply that assistant to a campaign or to a skill. Okay. We're going to set it to a campaign. And then I'm going to select the campaign that I want to apply it to. Now, I already had a campaign set up out here, this FIFA World Cup helpline, excuse me. So sometimes it's good to know, what's required or what you need. I created this campaign out here ahead of time so that I would be able to just select it here and wouldn't have to jump and go back. So here is my World Cup helpline right here. Okay. So I'm going to pick that one. So now any call that's served to an agent through this campaign is going to have this assistant applied to it for processing. Okay. There are ways that you can have calls coming through the same campaign go to different assistants. Or well, we won't really show this here, but you can do that just with call variables. So I could have a call variable configured. I could set it inside of Studio or inside of my IVR. And if I decided within the IVR that this call needed to be handled by a different assistant, I could set a variable value equal to some value, and then I could evaluate it inside of this filter here. That's just one way I can get calls into a single campaign to be handled by different assistants. But right now, we're just going to have all calls that come into that campaign be handled by this assistant. But just keep that in mind. There are ways to split this up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And then I'm going to go back here. This is that guided walkthrough again. So I just want to click through here and make sure we didn't miss anything there. So gave it a name. We gave it a name. We left the redaction with the swear word, which is the default. We'll leave it at that. Okay, this is the filtering that I was talking about. We're doing it at the campaign level. And this note here is kind of important. A call can only be routed to one assistant. So if it qualifies for multiple, the skill-based assistant will take precedence over a campaign-based one. And then within skill or campaign assistant with CAV, that's a call attached variable. That's this bottom piece here. That takes precedence over a non-CAV filter. So again, this is all in the guide, ways to discriminate which assistant's going to handle a particular call. So then we go ahead and hit create, and this does take a minute or two. We'll go back here and see if mine has been created yet. Let me flip back. Okay, so here it is. So this circle means that it's still being generated. Um, Once it's ready, it'll go to that circle goes away. And it usually takes a few minutes. We'll refresh time or two here and see. Okay, so we'll let that keep cooking. And then we'll continue on and we'll look at what the next step is. And we'll talk about that. Okay. To set up a summary, navigate to the rules engine. Okay. So the summary is that piece at the end where it takes the conversation. That's driven by a prompt. And so we turn that on, we turn that on inside the rule engine. So let me go and see. Let's see. Neil, is there a way to refresh this without jumping back and forth? There may not be.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the rule. Okay, I can't, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay, it's at least defined, so I can go ahead and work on the rules for it. Okay, so for the World Cup Hop, we don't have any rules yet, but we're going to go to the summary tab here. Okay, right now by default, your summary isn't enabled. So I'm going to toggle that. And then this is where you can pick the prompt that you want to apply to the summary. Okay, right now we're just going to leave it at the 5.9 default. And we'll go back and look at those prompts here in a little bit. Okay, so let's see. It's saved. Okay, so now after call summaries will be enabled there. Let's see what they say next. Okay, so that was everything that I just did there. And we get to Gen AI. Let's see what they want us to do next. Okay, we're not going to jump. Well, I guess we could. We'll jump into the prompts. So we selected this 5.9 default summary. Let's just go look at that one. Right here. So this is really a simple prompt. So we're providing the transcript of the call to the prompt. And we're saying summarize the main topics. Do not make any assumptions. Do not include any headings. So that summary that we looked at was generated by this prompt feeding it the transcript. Okay. So you can change this if you want to. We can look at some of that later. And there's a lot of other ones that are already built in out here too that you can look at and play with. Okay, real quick, let me see how that model's doing.
So Brad, I have one question here. So whatever the prompt, we can customize our prompt as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's nothing but the just prompt whichever we are saying to the GenAI, and with the all transcript of that whole discussion, it's created somewhere. That's understanding is correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so again, we're applying that prompt to the summary to generate the summary. So right now that model that we created, the assistant, it's actually been built and is completed out here. So we'll select it and we'll get into the actual building of the assistant piece here in a second. But first, we need to get some guidance created out here. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so here are the guidance cards that I already had created out here for that demo that we just saw. And so if you remember, we went through playoff ticket inquiry. we went through a parking pass inquiry, and then we had the call start one at the beginning here, right? So we need to create some to support this World Cup use case that we've got here. So let me do one thing here quick. Hang on. I'm gonna okay, it logged me out. Okay, one second, guys. I got to log into another system because I have these guidance cards already created and I need to pull them back over here. Hang on. Okay, almost there. Okay, so we're going to create guidance cards to support this World Cup scenario that I was just talking about. So to create a guidance card, pretty straightforward. Hit create here. Um, Come in here and edit this one. And this is one that we're going to pop at the start of the call. So I'm going to call that World Cup greeting. And then down here below, you can see this is where we can just put in whatever, whatever you want to show. The WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. So this will pop when the call initially comes in. I've got a link in here that I'll show you here. I didn't show you in that demo, but you can, if you're using a 5980T, which is a CRM adapter, you can click here to launch Agent Assist into a full screen mode. Makes it a little more easier to use. So I like to put that in here. Let's see. And we'll just save it. Okay, it did not save my title, and that is a kind of a quirk here. So you have to actually hit this little checkbox here after you've typed that in there to save it. And then you have to save the entire card. So now you can see I've got a guidance card for World Cup grading. Okay. Let's see. So that's that one. Let's create another one or two here. Let's create, let's see. Let's say somebody's asking about lodging for the World Cup. Okay, so we're going to pop a card if we hear the caller saying anything about place to stay, lodging, hotels, anything like that. Okay, and we'll call this one World Cup Lodging. Save that there, check that box, and then we'll just hit save there. And then let's see, I'll do one more. Let's say they're asking about travel requirements as far as visas and passports and things like that go. And we'll call that visa requirement, save, and save. Okay, so these guidance cards, these are just, you need to get them created before. So these are the things that are going to pop when we detect certain things that are said within that conversation. So once we get those created, then we can go back to the rules engine and we can start applying these. Okay. Okay. So the rules, this is where you define what is going to trigger these cards to happen. So we'll start here by just adding a rule. I'll name this one, let's see, World Cup welcome. Okay, and what do I want to do? I want to show the guidance card. I'm going to show the greeting one, which is this one. And the trigger, I just want to do it when the call starts. So when a call starts, I'm going to pop this card right off the bat. So at the top. So this could be like an initial, something you want the agent to say, or it, I like to put this link here to launch in full screen mode. But regardless, we'll make that one active and we'll create it. Okay, so now we've got one rule on this assistant. Okay, so now we need to create a couple more to pop these guidance cards. Okay, so let's name this one World Cup. Let's see. What should I call this?
Yep. I was going to say entry fee. We got better word requirements.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's see. So I want to show the guidance card. This is the one I want to pop. Okay, this one's going to be a keyword trigger. Okay, so I'm going to check keyword. And I don't have have existing keyword sets out here, but they're all for those NFL ones that I've already got out here. So I'm going to create one on the fly by hitting the plus here. And we're going to call this World Cup. Okay, so here's where it can listen to either what the agent says or what the caller says. So we're going to check caller. And we're just going to say if they say passport, visa, let's see, entry requirements. Let's see, what else here? Can you think of anything else? Someone's asking, let's see, passport, visa. These can be like up to
Sorry,
three.
I was on mute. It was on mute. No, I think you got it. Yeah.
These can be up to 3 words, comma separated. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a form of every single word. It'll still trigger. Like if I had passports plural, it would still trigger on passport. Visa entry requirements. I don't know. We'll put
Also, like tiny small bags, like more than that's I ran into something like that too recently for like a concert. Very, very tiny, like, bag smaller than your hand or something.
Oh, well, this is more entry with the World Cup. There's a lot, at least we hear
Oh,
about
okay.
this
You
in
mean like
Kansas City.
global entry?
It's people coming in, because
Okay.
everyone's coming from all over the world.
Yeah.
And so they're making the requirements to get into the country a little bit different for
Yeah.
people that are so tied to the World Cup. So we'll just save that one. Okay, so now when those keywords are said, it'll pop this guidance card to the agent. Let's see, what does advanced do here? Okay, so you could skip a particular guidance card for certain campaigns. So there are ways to kind of slice and dice this. But we'll go ahead, we'll activate it, create that one. Okay, so now we've got the welcome, we've got the entry requirements, and let's see, what was, the lodging one. Let's add one more rule. Okay, we're going to show a guidance card. We're going to show lodging. Again, this is the guidance card that I created earlier. Our trigger on this one, again, is going to be keyword. Again, we don't have a keyword set, so we're going to go ahead and create one. Lodging, let's see. And it's the caller. And we're going to say hotel. If they ask anything about hotel lodging, trying to think what other words they could say. Hotels, lodging, bed and breakfast. Okay, this is a pretty simple, let's see, pretty simple use case here. Okay, lodging. There we go. Okay, save and use, activate it. and create it, and then we'll look at what we've got here. Okay, so right now for this World Cup assistant that I've got, we've got 3 guidance cards created. 2 of them are going to trigger on a keyword, and the first one's just going to trigger when the call starts. Okay. We're going to generate a summary at the end using the 5.9 default summary prompt. Let's see, we're not going to get into knowledge here. Okay. So that's it with the rule. So now let's look at task lists. Now, if you remember, task lists were that thing on the right-hand side where it was listening to the agent and it would, let's see. And as it heard certain things that were said, it would check off the tasks. So again, that's for, things like compliance. If I need to tell them that calls may be recorded, you can track it that way. Okay, so here we go. So let's create a couple. We'll make them easy. I want them to ask if they have a valid passport. Okay, let's see. Okay, and this determines where that task list actually appears. And the one that I had, I was showing it over on the summary side of Agent Assist up at the top. So I'm gonna do that same thing here. Summary at the top. Let's see. Apply it to this one. Let's see, this is actually the list though, isn't it? Okay, hang on. I'm not taking the right approach here. This is the list itself. So World Cup. Okay. Now, once I have that list created, now I can start adding tasks to it. Okay. So we'll add one here. This will be passport. This is what the agent's going to see in their checkbox. Okay, we're going to do it as a keyword set. And we're gonna have to create one out here. Cup. Okay, and this is the agent speaking at this point. And we're gonna say the agent says anything about passport, valid, visa. Then it'll pop that that task, and we'll add just one more here. Let's see. Neil, do you know why my save isn't coming active here?
Nothing to select.
Hang on.
Yep.
There
There
we
you
go.
go.
I created it and it didn't automatically assign it. So, okay. Okay, so save it and then we'll add one more, and this one will just be, we'll do the anything else.
So this task means agent needs to complete everything, whatever is there, right?
Yeah, that's the idea, right? The idea is this is a list that you would give the agents a visual reminder of what you want them to complete in the interaction.
Okay, so they whatever the mention inside the list, they should get it from customer. That's mandatory things like that way, right?
Yeah. Yep. So, but you could do other things. You could say, the agent was polite. The agent verified that they were speaking to the right party. all of those different things you could create task lists.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of intended to be used for, compliance on the fly, right? Just to make sure that the agent is doing the things that we require them to do on the call. So in this one, this anything else. So this is there anything else I can help you with? I already had um, a task out there for that one on this NFL one, and so I'm just going to reuse that one, right? Let's see, task trigger, keyword set, task trigger. Hang on one second, Neil. Not sure I'm doing this right. I think that's what threw me. So the trigger is actually it's the call start. I didn't do that right, did I? These are call events. So we're going to pop this one up here by default when the call starts. That's what's wrong. And then the keyword that gets it marked as completion is the keyword set. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'll go back and
Yeah.
change
So,
it.
to clarify what Brad said, go back, Brad. Just go back to that real quick.
Let me go back to this other one. I got to fix
Yeah.
it.
So the task trigger is what's going to cause the checklist item to appear for the agent, right? So he wants this. So what we're saying in this scenario is when the call starts, we want to trigger these items to be in the list. So we want those two items to be in the list. Show us the drop down just so you can see what other options are there. But you could say, when the calls when the call gets ended, if they put the call on park. So these are just events that you could do that. And you could use a keyword set as well to say, if they say a specific word, that would appear it there.
So I guess that would be almost you could pop a task, an empty task in response to something that was heard on the call.
Correct.
And then you could complete it by something subsequently that was then heard in response to that, I guess.
What you would do is you would create a task. So let's say, for example, as you're going through the conversation, if you wanted to offer like an upsell opportunity, for example, if you identify that there's something that happens in the conversation that you want to offer an upsell to. So let's say if they call in because they want to, because they're calling about their balance on their credit card, but they ask, do we have any special offers or whatever? Then you could trigger that task list to appear in the list, right? So that would allow you to do that at any time during that call. You could add additional task items to that list.
Right. I haven't actually played with the tasks too much. So let's just leave it at 2 here. So this list is going to pop up by default, both of these items. When the call starts, they're going to be unchecked. And then as the agent, asks if they have a valid passport, do you have a visa? They should be checked. So let's save that. Save that task list. Okay. So let's just review here real quick and make sure we're not missing anything obvious. So we've got the model created. The assistant is created and selected. Okay. We've got our guidance cards created and are referenced inside of this rule engine right here. So we're going to pop potentially 3 guidance cards, one at call start, and the other 2 are keyword based. We're going to create a summary at the end. We don't have knowledge integrated into this just yet. And then we're also going to launch these 2 tasks at call start that we'll then listen to see if they get pinged, get hit. Okay. Real quick, I kind of got off of this walkthrough thing. And again, I just want to point this out again. You guys, when you come into here, this question mark, follow that thing, launches this kind of walkthrough deal. Makes it real easy to get this started. But I just want to see where it's going to send us next. Okay, the rules engine, summary, let's see. Okay, now it says it's ready. Okay, so then it just gets into making sure that the users have the right permission sets and all of that. In this environment, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we gave you guys just all permissions.
We gave them all permissions, correct? They
Okay.
should have everything.
Okay. So, but if you are in a situation where you're working with a 5.9, production system that has permissions set the way they should be, you may need to go in here and give the specific permissions for the agent assist. Okay, we don't have to do that here. So I think, let's see, I'm trying to think what we're missing out here. This is my agent. I do not have this skill selected for the FIFA sign. Let's add it and we'll take this off. Okay. So again, let's see. Do we need to save this?
Yeah, and what you're seeing there that he's clicking around, like that can be activated by permissions or taken away for the agent. So you can have it be completely controlled by a supervisor or a manager of a group, or you can allow the agents to have their control of what skills they need to be activated.
Yeah, so all I'm doing is this is my agent. I'm giving him the skill that I'm going to dial into here in a second that's going to deliver the call to me. And so remember when we were in here, I have this World Cup helpline created with this phone number assigned. It's not running, so this isn't going to work unless I start it. Let's go ahead and start it. And then let's see, I might have one other issue here, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I don't have the right script assigned. So maybe I haven't saved it yet. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, so FIFA World Cup assistant right here. Okay, so all this script is doing is it's going to play a welcome and send the call to the skill. Make sure that's right. I'm going to take that one off. FIFA team. Okay, so that's my skill. The script is going to target that skill, save that script. Now that I've saved it, it should be available for assignment in here. Well, FIFA World Cup assistant. Okay. Okay. So when I save this, we're going to call into, let me get this number ready. This is just the number that I'm going to dial. It's going to go to this campaign, deliver it to the FIFA World Cup skill, and then we should see that agent that we created. Oh. Save that. Okay, agent's here. He's ready for that skill. Let's send in a call and see what happens.
Podline. One moment while I locate an agent to help you.
Hello and welcome to the World Cup All Access line. How can I help you today? Okay, so stop right there for a second. So the first guidance card, that call start based guidance card that popped as soon as the call came in, which is this one right here. Okay. Agent list, which we set up for these to pop not completed, but when the call started. So these two things happened upon the call start, right? So now, as the customer, let me tell him what I need. Yeah, hi, I want to come to the World Cup and I need to know where I can find a place to stay, a hotel or lodging. Okay, we got that lodging one to pop that we created, right? Right. So that's what this one popped based on either I said hotel or lodging here, caused that one to pop based on that keyword set that we created. I see here I do have a link in here. I've got something I need to fix. I just have the text in here to it. I don't actually have the link inserted in there. Okay, so let me go back as the agent. Real quick, do you have a valid passport? Okay, so that task list item was popped. We'll go ahead and we'll do this. Anything else too? Is there anything else I can help you with? And then let's get to that other one, that other guidance card that we had. Let's see. That was, what were we triggering that one on? It was on, oh yeah. Do I need a visa to get into the country? Okay, since I said visa, that was part of the keyword set on the customer side. It popped the visa requirements guidance card. Okay, here I do have a link that's actually configured correctly, so I can click on here. Takes me there. But again, you can build these guidance cards to have whatever kind of HTML content you like. Okay. So as the agent, yes, you will need a valid passport. Keep in mind that passport needs to be not within 6 months of expiration. And depending upon where you're coming from, you may also need a visa from the State Department. Okay, let's just end this now and we'll watch the summary. Again, the summary was using the same prompt as we were using before, so it just gives the highlights here. And then again, as the agent, I just mark it. And then that call's done.